What is the Millennial Whoop, and why did you hear it everywhere in 2010's pop music? Alright, I'm gonna be really transparent with y'all. I don't have a whole lot of time. I'm actually heading to the studio in, like, not very long from now to record some music. Actually, a project that I was hired to write music for where we're using the Millennial Whoop and a lot of stuff, but that's a whole other thing. If I think about it, I'll put the little video from the studio here. And by the looks of things, most people only want to watch about 10 minutes of these videos anyway, so I am pleased, and we're just trying stuff out. So I'm gonna have some coffee. And also, thank you, YouTube, for a little personalized mug. And me and Lucy and you are gonna listen to some Millennial Whoops, and we're gonna get an idea of like what that is. I'm Rod Kim, and this is Millennial Sleepover. Okay, so just a reminder, or if you've never seen me before, I don't really do heavy research on things. If you're familiar with my short form videos, a lot of it's just, you know, stuff I know because I'm a songwriter here in LA, or, you know, from college I actually went to school for music, or just, you know, my feelings about things. So if you want real well-researched music history, go check out my buddy Patrick Hicks. But for me, it's just like anecdotal experiences and then my observations about music. So this is actually kind of a fitting format. It's a newer, I mean, all of this is new. This is only my third long form video. This, you know, just kind of off the cuff commentary? I don't know what this is. This is in the process of trying new things. We'll put it that way. So when I think of the Millennial Whoop, the first song that comes to mind is Good Time by Owl City and Carly Rae Jepsen. So really the key takeaway here is in a standard triad chord of 3 notes, a major chord specifically, there's 3 notes that make up this chord, the first, the third, and the fifth. So if you take a regular major scale, label the numbers 1 through 7, and you pick out the first note, the third note, and the fifth note, this will make a major triad in most cases. We're just gonna stay really simple here for this one. The first note is the root. This is usually what the chord's named after. And then usually the third is what kind of identifies if the chord's like a major chord, a minor chord, or something. And so to me, a Millennial Whoop is when you take that major triad of the 1, 3, 5 and you go between the fifth and the third, so you don't really land on the root, although we'll see here in a little bit sometimes you do. But the most distinctive thing to me about the Millennial Whoop is alternating between that fifth and the third. And another good example of this is California Girls by Katy Perry. So far, 2 big hits in the 2010s, specifically early 2010s. So something else we've picked up on here is that not only are they going between the fifth and the third, but they're also going at an 8th note pattern, pretty straightforward. In the case of California Girls, there's a little bit of like a rest pause. So it kind of keeps it like a cool, like rhythmic cadence. To me, once again, this is just my opinion, the queen of Millennial Whoops is songwriter Bonnie McKee. She wrote so many songs that you know. I would even venture to argue that she may be the reason, like her and Benny Blanco may be the reason that it became such a big thing in the 2010s, because they're very good at integrating the Millennial Whoop into pop songs. So this motif going between the fifth and the third while going at an 8th note rhythmic pattern is also in Really Don't Care by Demi Lovato and Cher Lloyd. And of course, the biggest boy band of the 2010s couldn't be left out of the Millennial Whoop craze. The song Live While We're Young also heavily features a version of the Millennial Whoop. And live while we're young. So why is the Millennial Whoop a thing? I've said this before, but I believe that so much about music theory, specifically pop music, is kind of unquantifiable because what sounds good to you sounds good. So I really think that's the biggest thing about it is, like, even when you're kids, you would sing like na 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 na, and it's just like inherently catchy. There's just something hard-coded into us that just likes hearing that. But what also makes it genius outside of like human nature is that Having two notes alternating back and forth is something that no one person can specifically own. So something I hear a lot is like, oh, why didn't this person, sue this person for copyright infringement and all that stuff? As of right now, one interval between two notes is not a copyrightable thing. And so it's something that we can all kind of communally enjoy together. And I love that. This isn't new. Songwriting has lots of different tools, and this just happens to be one that was like very present in the 2010s, but it wasn't just there. In fact, you may have seen a video a while back in the late 2010s by NerdSync about why the DuckTales theme song is so catchy, and I actually wrote the music parts of those scripts. And we definitely talk about the Millennial Whoop as part of why that song is catchy. That song was written in the 80s, so obviously it wasn't classified as the Millennial Whoop at the time, and even so, it's not the purest form of it because there's more than just the fifth and the third happening, but you can hear the beginnings of it. This is just two quarter notes instead of a series of eighth notes, so it's a little bit slower and elongated, but the interval's there. So if I'm gonna include the DuckTales into the Millennial Whoop, I think it's only fair to also include Use Somebody by Kings of Leon, because they kind of have like a more cinematic ballad version of the Millennial Whoop, where it's definitely elongated. Someone like you. So in a way, the Millennial Whoop is kind of a melodic pop battle cry, and that evolves into the mid to late 2010s, where like This Is Me from Greatest Showman takes that elongated Millennial Whoop motif and actually outlines the full chord. So the first note is actually the root. So this is the exception that I was kind of talking about. The tail end of it does have the fifth going to the third, even though the first note does start on that root, but it's still freaking catchy and it's still a pop battle cry, right? Around the same time, Kesha had one of my favorite songs of hers, Learn to Let Go, and it has another kind of evolved version. This is not exactly the Millennial Whoop, but I would go out on a limb and say that this is a result of the Millennial Whoop being so big in the early part of the 2010s. Speaking of Kesha and early 2010s, I hear a lot of people talk about how her song TikTok had a Millennial Whoop in it. It does have an... I don't know. This is a sticky one to me, so let me know if you consider this a Millennial Whoop, because it does have the eighth note motif, kind of, but it alternates between the first and the fifth of the chord, so it's not quite that 5-3, which to me is like the melodic tone of the Millennial Whoop. But I don't know, we're already taking kind of like a lot of liberties here with what we define this as. Music theory is theories. While we're on the subject of not really Millennial Whoops, there's also Bad Romance by Lady Gaga. I hear a lot of people say, oh, she used the Millennial Whoop in this song. To me, once again, not really a Millennial Whoop, because this is just like a long vocal run that's super catchy. I've also heard people say that Till the World Ends by Britney Spears has a Millennial Whoop in it. To me, this is a whole other millennial thing. Like, millennials love stutter edits, and so to me, this is more of a stutter edit, and it's staying on the same pitch for most of it. And at the end, it's not even like a fifth to a third or a fifth to the first. And the stutter edit is, I don't know, tell me if you want me to talk about stutter edits in millennial music, because that was definitely a thing too. Other honorable mentions are American Authors, Best Day of My Life. It has like a battle cry kind of whoa part. To me, it's just a really catchy sing-along part that kind of outlines the scale of the song. Also, 21 Pilots Ride. That's not really a Millennial Whoop to me. And then if we want to get into like kinda territory, Want to Want Me by Jason Derulo has the idea, the concept of a Millennial Whoop in it, because it happens like once, like literally just like one interval every now and then, but it's not really like a battle cry. Same with Baby by Justin Bieber. Like, it happens like very briefly. And Christina Aguilera, Can't Hold Us Down. I think it's literally just an ad lib she does once at the end of the song. And Maps by Yeah Yeah Yeahs technically has the Millennial Whoop in it, but I don't feel like it was on purpose here. Not to say that indie music can't have millennial whoops in it. Churches has a song that, it's funny because I don't hear people cite this a whole lot, but to me, this is definitely a millennial whoop.
Until you go.
And that song, Habits Stay High by, I never pronounce his name right. I always thought it was Tovlo, then I've heard it's like Tovelo. Apologies for mispronouncing that, definitely. But she has a heavy use of the millennial whoop in like a really cool, edgy indie way.
To keep you off my mind.
One tune that I think often gets overlooked for good use of the millennial whoop is the song I Do Not Hook Up by Kelly Clarkson. It was at one point a Katy Perry song. She even co-wrote on it.
Hey, does anybody remember that time Katy Perry wrote another song for Kelly Clarkson?
What I love about this is like the true evolved form of the millennial whoop to me, because it's that eighth note melody, but it's like not just one single section of like sing-along woes. It's integrated throughout the entire chorus melody. Just about any time there's a vowel, there's a millennial whoop happening. It just makes this super catchy song. I love this. So I'm out of coffee and I gotta go anyways. I'm gonna be late, but I just gotta say, I love the millennial whoop. I love 2010s, millennial joy pop music. I know other generations, both older and younger than us, make fun of us for being cringe, and maybe that's true. I don't know, but I don't care. For the most part, me and my friends at least, we had a good time. And cringe or not, it doesn't really matter. Like, I love that I have such great memories of, fist pumping and singing along to every in, parties and clubs and stuff back in the early 2010s. And if the price of having a great time and having great memories is being a little cringe, then so be it. That's fine. Anyway, I'm gonna be late to my recording session. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed whatever this was, please consider subscribing to my channel and also, leaving a little thumbs up, if not for me, but for little Lucy over here. Who's the best co-host. Very important job of napping, right? Hey, you tell people to like and subscribe. What's your favorite millennial whoop? Do you love it or hate it? Did I miss one that you could think of? Do you agree or disagree with my observations in this specific video? I post these long form videos the last Saturday of each month, so if you haven't already, check out my previous ones where I talk about millennial graduation songs, and then also how I Want It That Way had lyrics that made no sense, but then they try to fix them. And come back the end of August next month when I talk about Mariah Carey's epic 90s and early 2000s collabs. I also post daily short form song breakdowns, both the 2-minute long versions and 1-minute versions of those on Shorts. I'd like to thank Patreon supporters Amelia Ross and Cal Herrington for making long videos like this possible. If you'd like to see your name here, or just support me and Lucy, check out the link in the description and on the screen right now. Also, check out my podcast where I interview artists like the All-American Rejects, Edwin McCain, Hootie and the Blowfish, Hinder, Roses, and most recently, the singing voice of Jem and the Holograms. Okay, bye!